Hey everybody, welcome to the Fired Up with CJ show. Today we have a special treat. We have Monica McDowell, and she's going to be demonstrating the kind of healing work that she offers to clients. So welcome, Monica.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so tell me, what's this healing typically involve? What are the different steps to the process of healing someone or working with a client to do an energetic reading?
Right. For my clients, when they contact me, I before they come in the door, I do an energy reading.
Mm-hmm.
So what that means is I meditate and I look at their energy. I do a dowsing of their
Mm-hmm.
energy on a chart. So I look at their physical and emotional, mental, soul levels,
Mm-hmm.
the chakras at all of those, and do a dowsing reading on those. I look at the Hara dimension, which is a deeper dimension, and read
Mm-hmm.
that. And then I do a dialogue with my guides, and see if they have any messages or any specific things that I've missed. And then so that gives me a general picture. I
Mm-hmm.
kind of try to put the whole picture together and see what I see and see what I can
Right.
uh, get an idea of before they walk in the door. So
Okay, show us what a chart looks like, and then what a dowser looks like, because some folks may not be familiar with that.
okay,
So,
so this is the chart I use.
perfect. Okay, got it.
That just shows the different levels of the aura.
Uh-huh.
And then I just douse over each chakra that's indicated on here.
And a dowser is like I've seen like
I
they're
use
like
a
little circles.
pendulum.
A
Yeah, I use a
pendulum.
pendulum like this, just a metal
Okay, got
necklace,
it.
actually, with a
Okay.
nice weighted
Okay.
charm on it.
And
And
then
then
when you were showing me, it was kind of circling around. I don't know if that
so
was
if
a.
I'm just dousing over somebody's chart like this, let's see, let me get it closer in here. So then see if it's open, and it'll go open and clockwise if it's open. And then if it's flat, it'll read like that, just like
Mhm.
straight across.
Yes.
Or it'll back and forth. It'll go
Fascinating.
backwards. So there's different things that it'll indicate. And I have a chart from Barbara Brennan.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Book, uh, Hands of Light has a pendulum dowsing reading interpretation guide.
Oh wow. Okay.
So it shows that tells you a little bit about what's going on psychologically, psychospiritual reading about the energy.
Okay, got it. So when you're talking about those different levels, psychological, emotional, physical,
Mhm.
all those different things, you do that through looking at each of the chakras, is that right? And
Yes.
then the connection to the hara, which I'm not sure what that is, but other
Yeah.
different dimensions, it sounds like, is that also done through dowsing?
Yes, I
Okay,
do.
got it. Okay.
Yes.
And then
Uh,
what is the hara?
The hara is a deeper dimension than the chakras and the meridians. It's specifically about what our soul purpose is. Sorry, my cat just dumped a bunch of stuff on the floor.
Yeah.
Um, um, the soul purpose of why we're here, why we're embodied at this time on the earth. So
Wow.
it connects our oversoul to our soul seat, to our danchan, which is the kind of the center of our
Hmm.
body, and then to the center of the earth, the core of the earth. And all
Interesting.
those things have to be aligned, and it's a little tricky.
Yeah.
Most people's haras are a little, you know,
Ah, okay. So some
sort of.
people call it the tree of life, or it's called different things. And so,
Mhm.
is this there's a connection that goes from here to here, which is your spirit to some people call it the matrix, the astral level, whatever you're calling it, the hara. Some people call it, I don't know. So it sounds like there's that connection this way. What is the seed of your soul? Is that like who you?
The seed of the soul is it's just like one line of energy that comes all the way straight down through, and the one point after the oversoul point is right here in the upper chest. Some people will
Yeah.
call it the high heart,
Uh-huh.
but it's not a chakra. It's just the soul seed. It's where your soul purposes, your soul contracts, your soul
Ah, is
lessons.
here. Interesting.
Yes,
And what happens at the oversoul level over here?
that's just where you individuate.
Oh.
So that's, I mean, at the oversoul level, we're all one, right? We're all, and so
Ah,
this is
okay.
where we individuate, and
Oh,
it's
that's the point where we individuate
individual
from
soul.
the one. So there's like a point. Some people talk about like when I interviewed someone about the Akashic records, they talk about going a foot over your head and imagining a point of light. Is that the oversoul? point?
It's higher than that, but
Okay.
it can be the same visualization. It's about
Yeah.
5 feet up.
Okay. So this is my spirit and how it individuates. These are my soul contracts. And
Mhm.
then what's the connection to the earth, the other pieces?
Then the other piece is the dantian, which is about an inch and a half below the belly button.
Yeah.
That's actually a martial arts term. It's a
Yeah.
Japanese term,
Yes.
and that has to do with the center of gravity of your body and kind of the center of your body's the one note of your body from the earth, because it's an earthling. Your body is an earthling,
Okay.
and so it's the connection to the earth, to the earth's energy, and so that from that dantian, then it goes all the way straight down to the earth's core.
Okay,
So
got it.
it's one long line of energy, and anywhere along there can be interruptions, or it can go off in a not be aligned, or
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And then there's dampers that also happen along the Hara, because our oversoul is so bright, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we're all at the level of oneness. We're all
Right.
just
Yeah. We
so
rock then.
yeah, so we can't always hold all that light, particularly at different stages in our life. And so when we're ready to clear some of our stuff out, or we've learned our lessons, then we're able to carry more light. And so there's kind of like we can release dampers, or along that Hara line, to make the line clearer
Interesting.
again, and so we can carry more light in our bodies. So
Interesting.
yeah,
It's really interesting because I've heard of people doing energy work where they feel like there's a block. It's almost like they put a purposeful damper in there to remind themselves that, by the way, this still needs to be worked on, or this still,
yes,
so that's what you are calling a damper. Okay, so I have
yes.
another question. So in this energy flow, because there's so many different spiritual modalities, of which I'm not familiar with yours entirely, that there's this idea that we're connected to heaven, which is what you're saying is the oversoul, and there's the idea that we're connected to earth. How do you see them working together as a system, a holistic system? How does the energy run, and how does it work holistically?
Well, the Hara is the soul is kind of like in the symphony of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
The soul seed is kind of like our song in the symphony of the universe. So it's
That's
our
beautiful.
unique song, and that
Yeah.
comes from Barbara Brennan. So
Right.
and then the again the dantian is like the one note from the earth's own tone. The earth has a tone, and then
Ah.
our body has its own tone that's connected to that. So it's a
Oh.
vibrational kind of a musical thing. I did a Hara. I was doing working on a client's Hara one time, and I had
Mhm.
never heard this but I had heard the music of the stars when
Yes.
I was connecting her to the Earth's core, and usually it's the molten core that I connect people with, but we're
Yes.
we're all shifting, and now I'm connecting people more and more to the crystalline core of the Earth.
Interesting.
And when I did that with her, when I connected her to the crystalline core of the Earth, all of a sudden it was like chimes. It was like
Oh,
crystalline
wow.
chimes. I could hear all, like the Aborigines talk about the music.
Yes.
I could hear that, and I've never heard that before. It was really beautiful.
Wow. Oh, I got chills just
Yeah,
feeling that. Wow. That's
that was really
incredible.
beautiful to hear that. But I
Yes.
more and more we're shifting into that crystalline energy rather than that, hard, thicker, molten core.
So do you think when you're connecting her to that crystalline energy, because you talk about as above as below, right? We have an oversoul and our unique expression with our soul contracts, and then we have our, I can't remember what you call, but we have a
Or one
connection.
tone, yeah,
Yeah,
one.
our one tone, which is our tone connected to the earth. So our unique expression is the one tone, and then there's this earth connection.
Mhm.
Um, do you think that song came from her one tone, or do you think that it's like when these two things combine that
It was
you
when
heard
it
her
was
two
all
waves?
aligned, and then and it was when I connected to the crystalline core of the Earth,
Yes.
and then it was like everything just opened, and it was like connecting to the stars. I mean, it was just the
Wow.
connecting to that vibrational level of that's going on in the stars and the heavens, and so it was just a really beautiful thing. I think it wasn't necessarily her energy; it was just that her energy opened then because it aligned,
Right. It's
and so
off.
I was able to hear it. Yeah,
That's
just hear that crystalline
that is
wind chime. It
so
was really beautiful.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I expect you to do something equivalent to me today.
Oh,
Just make it happen. Okay, so here's a question. So when you were able to do that for a client, um, it sounds like you're actually visualizing something, you're saying you're connecting her one night to the crystalline structures below. So are you visualize that doing, or is she working with you to do that? Because you had said that when we were talking earlier that in addition to doing these energy readings, you do pranayama and breath work to work with the client. Are you both intentionally creating the connections?
Um, um, on the Hara, I usually have to get very quiet because it's a deeper dimension. When I'm working with the client on the chakras and the meridians and just doing more clearing work and that sort of thing, I'm working with them. It's more collaborative and we're working together. When I go to the Hara dimension, for whatever reason, I need to get very quiet in order to connect there. And so I am touching the usually the soul seat and the Dan Chen points, and I'm visualizing those aligning and then aligning with the earth and aligning with the oversoul. So I'm doing a lot of visualization and connecting through that, connecting those energies and aligning them through that.
Okay,
So
I don't know what just happened, but when you were talking to me, my fingers just started tingling right here.
oh cool. Yeah, well, I was touching myself here on my points here.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah.
That's good.
So I
Wow.
soul seed in my Dan Chen. So and
Oh my
it's
God, when you did that, it vibrated in my finger again. That is too. By the way, I'm
yeah, so it's a much
energetically
deeper.
sensitive.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's good. That's great. So
Yeah.
it's a deeper dimension. So, and I'm finding more and more people are coming to me for that because I think we're
Yeah.
all so shifting and so many people are, you know, ready to do deeper work. So,
Right.
it's really a great sign that humanity is on some level getting it.
Yeah. Yeah. So in some ways, what it does is it aligns this connection that the way we were naturally designed is this one whole connection where we have our individuated version of the oneness in ourselves. And what you're doing is kind of like, hello, connect.
Yes.
I
I
just
think it's
imagine
really
like,
hard.
electrical outlet that's kind of like a little bit off or.
Right. Yeah, and there can be a lot of reasons that it goes, particularly most people, not everybody, but most people seem to have work between the Dan Chen and the earth. I think it's so hard for soul energy to be truly embodied and
Mm,
truly on the earth because those energies are just so, I mean, there's a wide range of vibration there
hmm.
between the earth and the oversoul. And so to hold all of those vibrations and all of those levels in alignment is really tricky. And so if you have a
Mm.
trauma in your life, or if you have anxiety, or I mean, just anything can just throw it off. And
Yeah.
it's unless you know how to work on it yourself, it's really difficult to get that, energy back into alignment
Right.
unless you're intentionally doing it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. That makes sense. And then also, do you even know that it exists?
right, exactly. Yeah.
I didn't even know it existed until I talked to you, so I couldn't
Yeah.
even align it because I didn't know it existed. Okay, what are the kind of experiences that people usually have afterwards? So this woman who you heard chimes with, what did she say her personal experience was after all this alignment? Like what changed, shifted in her life?
Well, what was it? She's very intuitive herself, and she said the whole time she was driving over to see me before the session, she felt like she had to give birth.
Wow,
And
poor
that
thing.
no, and she kept and that was where the block was in the Dan Chan in that area. So
Wow.
that's where I mainly worked with her. And then afterwards, she said she felt like, she had to. It's common. People have to go to the bathroom after a
Right.
session. So she goes to the bathroom and she goes, "I did. I just everything just released." So,
Fascinating.
so it was a good release for her. I think the main thing that it does is it solidifies the energy. It creates a stronger foundation. A lot of times people will get their chakras worked on or their meridians worked on, and
Yes.
then everything, in a week or a day or a month, it's gone. It's shifted
Right.
back. It can't. It's not holding. And one of the reasons for that is because the hara isn't aligned. And
Oh,
so
interesting.
if you can align that hara, then it helps, it supports the
Yeah, that
chakras and the
seems like to
meridians to be
be
a little bit more
like,
stable.
it seems like that would be the first order of business, right? To fix the horror if there's a disconnection.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I'm finding. I usually start with the chakras and the meridians just because to get those clear. So then it's like then I can get into the hara and work there. But until
Um,
until I've got that hara aligned, some of that chakra work might not hold.
mm,
So yeah. So
interesting.
yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you did a little mini reading for me. You've been in my presence for me asking questions, and I'm sure energy is swirling all over me. Um, Can you give us an example of, we'll use me as a guinea pig. What did you find? And then what would we do with it? Maybe do a little meditation or something so folks can get
Right.
full.
So I did look, I looked at your emotions and your mental body and your physical body, and I looked at your hara.
Mm-hmm.
So emotionally was where there was the most work that I would work with before I worked on the hara.
Mm-hmm.
There was just some conflictedness, and it may be because of the phone call that we talked
Yeah, I
about.
told you I had a conflict. I had a conflict with someone,
Your energy.
with a developer, software developer. That will make anyone conflicted.
So yeah, so I think that's it. But the hara was the danchan was to the earth was a showing an off. So I would work that with you too. So we can do that right now if you want. I mean, I feel like you've had enough energy work. You're
Yeah, as long as I don't have to actually like pee on the spot, I guess it's fine. Or give birth at this moment. Okay, good. Let's experience it.
Okay, so what I'm gonna just do it on my body, and you can do it on your body if you want.
Absolutely.
But I'm gonna connect with your hara at the denchen. So it's about an inch and a half below your belly button, and you just put your fingers like this right in that spot together.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna connect with that spot.
This is what I'm doing, correct? Yeah. Okay.
Correct. Perfect.
Poor people have to see my belly. God. Okay. I should show my belly button and then do it. That'd actually be like one more disgusting level. Okay, let's do it.
Okay, and so what you visualize there is like a bright orange ball in the very middle of the body, kind of be halfway between front and back of your body. Just a nice orange ball there. And I'm just, and again, I have to get kind of quiet, so. And then from there, I would put my hands like this. So I'm just gonna step. So I don't know if you can't see it on mine. So I would put one hand down, pointing towards the earth, like this, like that.
Yes.
With one hand still holding the points
over the hara.
So yeah. So
okay. So does it look like this?
So put your fingers right on your body.
Oh, now people have to look at my profile. Poor people. Okay. So here's my belly button. Put it like that.
Put your fingers right in there, pointing it, and then put your hand down like this. So it's like this, like on your body, like this.
Oh, got it, like this.
Yeah,
like this, correct?
Perfect.
Okay, so like this.
And then your other hand pointing into the hara, like you were.
Like this.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to show everyone this.
Yes.
And then this.
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
And then what you're doing is you're just drawing a line, connecting that energy from your danchan all the way down into the earth's core. And I'm going to first start and connect it to the molten core because that's what I start with. And then if you're ready, I'll shift you into the crystalline core, okay? So let me just get quiet again and I'll do that. And I'm going to cough because it's clearing, so that's good. Yeah, okay, so there was just a little bit there that needed to clear, so that's good. And now that feels good. And so let me just see, crystalline.
Woo!
There, yeah, you felt that.
I did. I could see, actually, I saw these little white dots all over my eyes.
Oh, good. Yeah. That was the crystalline core. Yeah, I was shifting you into from the molten into the crystalline core there. That's the difference between those two. So one is very grounding, but one is it's a lighter feel.
It felt like a you know.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then I would just make sure that it was, and then I would just reconnect that whole line with here between the danchan and the soul seat, and then the soul seat and the oversoul point, just like that. So I just kind of realign everything then.
You did that already? Am I already?
I'm doing it now.
Okay.
But that's what I do after I work wherever it needs clearing and aligning. Then I go back and I just realign everything again.
Oh, so you're kind of imagining a straight line.
Yeah, just a straight line going all the way up to So that feels good. That feels a lot better.
So do we get it could be bad phone call with this person that I just talked to that could knock me off center, or like, are we constantly getting, like you said, it's a tenuous kind of cord that,
it is.
So it's like, I just imagine a really long extension cord where someone like rolls their chair over and it's unplugged and you're like, got to plug it back in. So it sounds like this is a constant
It's something to check
readjusting.
in with quite a bit,
Yeah.
especially at first when you're first getting used to it and that sort of thing. Then you don't have to do it quite as much. But if something that shakes you up a little, takes your energy up, go and recheck that heart.
Whoa, my God. Well, I just felt that. Oh my God, like my body is just chilling out. Oh no. Okay, so this is another reaction. I'm not having a baby, and I'm also not peeing. But I've got chills all over. I could all of a sudden what happened, and that was a couple. Oh my God. It was probably what 30 seconds from the time, and I'm just feeling. First of all, I'm feeling chills all over, and I.
Yeah,
Oh my God, I feel like a gigantic rush of energy. Like
yeah.
that's what it
That
feels
it
like
is.
this.
It's a really strong. And
Yeah.
if you do a lot of energy work, then really we're shifting all the time. I mean,
Right.
we're shifting like sometimes daily. It depends on how much
Mm.
energy work you do or how much meditation and how much inner work and that sort of thing. But I mean, sometimes I'm pulling dampers off myself, morning and night just to keep myself clear
Right.
and from because if something backs up, it's like you can get like a
Right. Like
energy
I can
backup,
imagine if it's
energy headache.
interesting. Okay, what does a damper look or feel like? How does
I
one remove
I
it?
visualize it like a clamp, like I
Ah.
unclamp it and I lift it off. I just like unclamp.
So it kind of feels like a stuckness. Like I may
Yeah,
feel
like
kind of a
yeah,
stuckness.
yeah. Like I just picture, like if you see one of those um, uh, lights that have those little clips on them, those little clip-on
Yes.
lights.
Yes.
That's how I see it, and so I just clip it off, unclip
Okay.
it.
All right. So this is what it would look like.
Exactly.
It's like
Yeah.
imagine unclipping from body. I see. So you imagine unclipping that a little light from that or that clip on and taking it out. So it's
Yeah.
like a little damp.
My, hmm
What are the
Yeah.
dampers created by? Why do we have these
They're,
dampers?
they're there intentionally because
Oh.
again, so that the body isn't holding too much light, more light than it can hold, so it
Oh.
doesn't blow out your circuits, or more light than you're able to hold in an integrated fashion, with integrity and without throwing so you're not
Right.
sparking.
It's not like you're flooding out like,
Yeah,
fire hose.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So
So
is
it's
it
done
is it
intentionally and for your benefit. It's not necessarily for harm. It's for benefit. But then once you shift, then they don't feel very good anymore because they're in the way of the light that you can that's trying to come down. And
Oh.
so you got to clear those so the light flows more smoothly and it feels better.
So you
So
do the connection and then you see what it feels like afterwards. So if I
yes.
was kind of like I don't feel well and it
Mhm.
felt, I was a clamp, I would imagine declamping
Yeah.
myself from that energy so that that energy that was there before as a natural good and who puts it there?
Our souls and our angels and guides before we come in to become before we come
Oh,
embodied. So these are things that are from
fascinating.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's all set up, kind of a thing, and
Yeah.
we as we live, we can release and bring in more light.
Okay. And
So
what are examples of soul contracts? Do you have a sense of my soul contract?
I didn't look at that. Soul contracts are just simply, living with, I mean, in general, soul contracts in general are living with as much as we truly are at our core, which is love, joy, peace, all of that. So our soul contracts are um, bringing as much of that as we can into our life situations. Where individuates is where we have soul contracts, perhaps with another person
Oh,
that
I
we're in
see.
relationship with, and so perhaps in another lifetime, we had
Ah,
a role reversal, and so this is a balancing act in this life,
yes.
where we're balancing that maybe it was a mother child, and now we were the child, and now we're the mother.
Interesting. Yes.
The balancing act going on, or like in my case, I had a large soul contract with a certain person who uh, I had many lifetimes with, who I was very damaged by in those lifetimes. And
Yes.
so this lifetime was me about clearing all of that
Me
out.
too.
Yeah. So that was in fact
Yeah. So they're not always a good thing. I mean, they're not they're good things, but they can be very challenging things. I mean, at
very
least
intense.
my own personal experience with a very similar thing that you're describing it was a challenging thing. It made me
Yeah.
look into my stuff and how I was adding to that particular dynamic, that soul
Yeah.
bond. And so those are the kind of things that you find when you look here.
Hmm.
Fascinating. Yeah, because I talked to someone. Um, I don't know if you're familiar with Daniel McKinnon's work, but she was saying that there are soul contracts. I think all of us, as you said, we are the end game is not about position, title, money,
Hmm.
which we
Right.
think it is in this culture.
Yes.
It's about love, compassion, joy. You know, those kinds of things. That's our ultimate contract with
Right.
the one, right? But then what you're saying is your expression or your sense of when you've tuned into what's in here is that they're individual relationships that we
Hmm.
have with specific people. And do you have a sense of the specific lesson that someone should be learning when you do that? Or like you said, you had your own soul contract and you had did you have a sense of my lesson is, or you just know that I'm interacting with this person, we may have switched roles, maybe I was a person who challenged him in the previous life and their
Right.
role reversal. um do you
So it
see
can
that?
be any of that. A lot of times, what it comes down to when I'm working with somebody in a healing session is that it comes down to forgiveness.
Okay.
That's it's a letting go
Yeah.
of forgiving the self,
Yes.
forgiving oneself, and releasing. Forgiving just means releasing, letting go.
I
So
see.
that's technically what the word means. It's just to let go.
I
So
see.
um, so to just release and to let go of that, whatever expectations or whatever the past life was, to release that person and to forgive oneself too. So that's usually when I'm working with the soul seed energy and healing it. It's usually about forgiving,
ah
and so that clears that soul contract lesson out, so that then the person can move.
I see. So it's not necessarily, you don't have to dig into like pulling out the agreement and 10 points. Like, here are the 10 points you agreed to. Number one, you failed. Two, you're accepting. You know,
Yeah.
it's basically like, okay, we had this contract for a good reason. You know, let's forgive each other, love each other, move on. That's the kind of healing work that you do so that someone can fulfill their soul contract.
Right. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Love
it's
it.
not that to mean that it's that information isn't there. I just tend to not go into it in a whole lot of detail just because
Yeah, you're not like, hold on, let me see. Line 10, section 10, line 1.
yeah, I mean I had a huge soul contract with this person, and it turned into a national event. That's how big it was.
Oh
So
no.
yeah,
Sorry.
I was a whistleblower. So
Oh,
yeah, so it was, but that was, and it was all, and when you have those, I don't think every lifetime you have those big soul contracts. I
yeah,
This lifetime I had a big soul contract that I had to
yeah,
fulfill,
yeah.
and that was fine. But I don't think necessarily everybody has that in every lifetime. So in general, I think it's working with our relationships and
Hmm.
working with our core, which is love, joy, peace, compassion, all of those, abundance, all of those core
Hmm.
energies, to bring them more to light in our daily lives, in our daily interactions with our loved ones and everyone around us. So
Okay, excellent. I love this. What a great piece of work that you do. So, how do people contact you, and what do they call when they say up? They're like, connect me with my horror. Like, what do they say? How do
usually
they
just say,
contact you?
somebody told me to call you and I don't know why I'm here.
But I think I should see you. They're probably right, aren't they? Because I think we have an intuitive sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the best way to contact me is through my website, which
Okay.
is just monicamcdowell.com,
Hmm.
and via email, which is monica@monicamcdowell.com.
Okay.
So I those are the best ways to contact me. I'm on Facebook a lot, so if
And
anybody
this is
wants to
called an
friend me
energy
there.
healing, right? Or what is this
Yeah,
called?
this is the what I call the main sessions I do, are I call them the breath energy sessions, but I do a lot of stuff in those sessions, and it just depends on and whether I've seen that person before or not, how much I do, what I do.
Yeah.
Just it's unique for each person, but
Yeah.
I yeah, I love it. I love helping
I
people
can
and
tell.
giving people the tools so that they can
Yeah.
do the work themselves, because I think that's really key. It's not so much about
Yeah.
me, it's about how can I assist you and how can I teach you so that you can go home and do this all on your own, if that's what you want
Right,
to.
like if someone can't afford to see you or for whatever reason they can do this thing, imagine connecting
Yeah.
to the ground and the crystalline structure, this
Mhm.
thing, connecting this way and connecting these two in alignment, right? I mean, they
Yeah.
could do that at home.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
That's
So,
lovely. Thank you for sharing with our audience. I
oh,
appreciate
thank
it.
you. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Bye bye. It means so much to me that you're listening to the show. I would love your support in any way by giving me comments below, or to subscribe to the show, or share the show with friends. Thank you again for your support. Love and blessings.